Welcome everybody. Hi. It's High to the Hands Day. Hope everyone is doing well. Welcome to my channel. I'm excited today because I'm going to show you some basics about using Airdryclay. And also we're going to be showing you how to make your own little template instead of trying to wait for a mold that are on back orders everywhere because everybody's getting into this clay, I guess. I love using it. Anyway, you can cut out your own pattern like you see I've done here. You can kind of hear this isn't a normal piece of paper. This is a, what is it? It's 50. It's an 8x5 letter size. It can go in an inkjet printer. You can kind of see through it. I don't know how else to explain it. I'll put a link in the description as far as where to get the paper. But I think y'all kind of get it. It's almost like tracing paper, I want to say. But it's got that firmness. And so I've cut out a bird, just drew it out and cut it out. Nothing complicated, no complicated shapes. This is simply going to be for the bird's wing, which after I've cut out the bird and so forth and have cut out the wing, I'll apply the wing and mold it in, etc. And we'll go from there. But let's start out with the basics. And one of the basics about Airdryclay is it doesn't like our hands. As much as we love using it with our hands bare, really it absorbs the moisture and all the things in our hands go into the clay, kind of dries your clay out faster. Also leaves little dried stuff, everywhere. I've come up with a different way of doing it, and that's straight out of the package. I use Crayola Airdryclay, and right as soon as I get the main package, I open it up and I start breaking it down. And I have saran wrap. That is a good friend of yours, okay, if you're going to use it. Then I cut out sheets of the saran wrap, and then I take just clumps of the clay. I don't mold it and all that stuff and make it all pretty and wrap it up. No, I put it into the cellophane, barely touching the clay, just enough to get it, amount that I think I need. And then I fold over the saran wrap, and then that's when I'll work it around and, smooth it out or whatever it needs. Or the smoothing part, you don't really have, it's going to make wrinkles anyway, but at the end, they're not these major ones that you can get from trying to roll it on a glass surface and it sticks and, oh my goodness, dries out quickly, all that good stuff. Second thing, wax paper. When I was young, my grandmother taught me how to bake pies, and one of the things she used was, if I remember correctly, was wax paper. And she didn't do a lot of touching of the dough. She would make the dough right, all that stuff. Anyway, and when it came down to rolling the dough out, she would get a piece of wax paper, place your dough on it, and then place your wax paper over the top, and then you come in with your roller. Okay, and that's exactly how we're going to treat this clay. And I wanted a nice big chunk of it because the bird I want to be on the thick side, and it is on a bigger size scale. And yeah, that's basically the reason. So all I'm doing now is undoing my saran wrap. Again, I have not touched this clay. Okay, so we're going to just get it out. And I had formed this particular one into a nice patty for this in particular. So find a place that is comfortable for you on your wax paper. Make sure y'all can see. Then I take the other piece of wax paper, place it over the top of you, and grab yourself your rolling pin. Now, this isn't a typical rolling pin. One of the reasons is because of the rising part of a baking rolling pin has these edges on it, and it leaves creases into your clay. You're not able to, use the whole thing. You're only able to the center part. So that's why we don't use a baking type, unless your clay is going to reside within the confounds of the rolling pin part itself, if that makes any sense. Anyway, this one I searched for and found finally one at Michael's. Couldn't believe it. So super happy about that, because I was not digging using the glass, and things like that. It just, if I'm going to do this as a daily kind of thing, I love to teach and to do this. So why not, get what works the best for you. And if a glass works better or a different rolling pin, go for it. It's all about being comfortable, and it's about creating something that you're proud of and that you might want to display in your home. I don't have an Etsy store. I don't sell my stuff. I usually give it away in gifts and things like that. And I enjoy doing this. So if you want some free lessons on Airdryclay to paint pouring, I will be giving free lessons, video lessons online for free. Don't want nothing for it. Just come, enjoy yourself, bring your Java or your Coca-Cola, and join me. Okay, now once you've rolled it out to the approximate thickness that you think that you want, or that you know that you want, and I do just by eye. I've done it enough, so. And you see how nice this roller is? I don't have to worry about that crease and the handle and all that crap. And it just rolls out so nice, doesn't it? And I don't need it too thick either, so I'm just trying to make sure that middle is good, because that's basically where I'm going, is towards the middle, not our edges. That's where it's the thinnest, and we want a nice sturdy piece. Okay, we've got it rolled out. How simple, right? Okay, so now that we've got it rolled, what I like to do is do a flip, and that just simply means picking both pieces of the wax paper up with this in the center and just doing a flip. By the way, I am working on a glass slab that's covered with wax paper, okay? It sticks on my board, on the glass. I don't like the glass method. I'm not so sure why that's so popular, but not so much with me. Now you can start to see when your wax begins to, especially when you do it like I'm doing it, fresh, damp, not too damp, but perfectly damp. You're going to get moisture quickly on your wax paper, and you want to go ahead and not continue to use it, because then what's going to happen is it's going to meld into the clay, and then you've got this terrible thing where you're trying to pick out, wax paper that then becomes almost like paper. So I'm just going to give that just a gentle press and a gentle just kind of roll over it just a little bit, nice and light. I think I'll keep this a little closer to me. Now the next step is simply using your template. Now, how a dog hair would have gotten on there is beyond me. Oh, by the way, well, probably because my dogs, but these little tools are awesome. I'm hoping that you can get a good view of these. They've got these little different size points on the bottom here, little ball, big ball, littler, different sizes, both ends, different Plus you've got a nice little, if you're making a little vase, you can roll your insides with this. It's beautifully straight, perfect wood. Very nice tool to have. Never really used tools prior until I saw these, and I thought, wow, pretty cool. Now see, usually you'd have to dig with your fingernail to try to get this hair that decided to live on my board, but it did not, so there we go. And all I did was just use my little tool and just come take a look, see if anything else jumped in there. I did do it late last night. You never know. Okay, anyway, that looks pretty good. Okay, so next thing we're going to do is show you our patterns. And all I did was cut these patterns out. That's all you have to do. They're making wonderful molds these days that you can buy. You got the money to do it, good, go for it, because they're beautiful. I really like the IOD orchid designs. They put out beautiful molds. Weathered Wings is a supporter as well of them. Beautiful molds, let me tell you. Decorative, gorge. But on the costly side. So if you're on the little bit of a tight budget side like me, because I'm about ready to have to buy a brand new phone. Anyway, cut it out. This is simply some strong paper that's almost kind of see-through-ish like, but it's firm. It's not copy paper or anything like that, so that it won't disappear into my clay. And I'm going to use that as a template. So what I do is I find a place here on the rolled out clay that I feel is going to be right. And so that's not quite right for me. I want them to whoa, that's when you go round and round, right? There we go. That's what, almost. There we go. That's what I want. And then I just gently, now this is a reusable stencil. Not the first time I've used it. That's why you see it curling up. But after it dries, it comes right back to life. And as you see, as you press it down into your clay, again, I'm not touching the clay. Just give it a good push. Just try to get it in there. It's a little harder the second, third time you're using your template. You can always just draw out another one. And if you wanted it the same, you know, you could just trace around it. Now we have a wing. There it is. It was missing. Okay, there it is. And I'm going to put the wing right up there. We're going to do everything, the whole bird, from this particular rolled out slab. All right, that went in there a little bit faster and easier. This little guy wants to curl up on me. I'm going to turn the whole thing. Another thing that's good about having it on the wax paper is it's, you know, it's easily to move. Cling wrap or whatever naturally wouldn't slide at all. And if you have it on glass, trust me, it'll stick. I don't know. I've watched them tell me it's not. I've seen them do it and it didn't, but they got some secret I don't know about because it sticks every time I use glass to roll on. So anyway, all right. So we're all prepared with our next piece of wax paper that I'm hoping I can get on there without and keeping the bird from rolling up. So we're going to give it a roll with the rolling pin to try to get that to stop from fraying up on us. Then we're going to use a scalpel. So if you're doing the project with me, which a lot of you do, like you'll see it come out because I'm not doing lives, you know, you kind of watch it and know the products, you know, and then you do it along with my video, which I think is awesome. And I love to see the inspirations that I create from you. So after you've given that a light roll, because I'm not trying to press it, and I'm trying to, though, set my rolling pin down, and hopefully this is going to stick. I mean, excuse me. Yeah, stick. Okay. My scalpel is here. And so all we do, okay, we still are on and recording. I can't believe it. This is not the one I want. Okay, this is the one I want. Yes, the big dog. This is a really, it's a good investment if you're going to work with clay to get you a scalpel. If you plan on making things like this, because look how easy. And then our clay hasn't been, you know, played with and rolled up and dried out and all of that stuff. So it just cuts like butter. Just like butter. If you can keep your little pieces down. I can see the birds trying to ease way up. Well, I may have to give them another roll. Move right along here because I want to catch that wing before it leaves the clay. But sometimes my vision isn't good, guys, so I have to get way up there or I miss stuff. And let me see if I can get this to... Oops, jabbed it with my nail. Watch the nails, ladies. Clay isn't very forgiving with nails. It'll make a dent and you think you'll get rid of it, but you won't. It'll appear again. Oopsie. No harm, no foul there. It was close.
Okay. Let's see what we got. Let's just see what we got. What's going to separate? Did I not cut far enough here? I had a feeling as I was going around this edge that it wasn't quite getting there. There we go. Okay. And boom, boom, boom. And I saw a little bit of the clay. I mean the wax paper. I just want to make sure it's not on the clay. No. Good. Okay. So the pieces that you don't, aren't going to use right away, have yourself your little bundle, a little cellophane, ready to pop it in there, which I should have had ready. See, now my hands are all on it, which I don't want. Okay, so I'm going to just jab it in there and see what else here I can remove. I kind of thought that had cut that, but maybe I missed that part. There we go. Isn't that great? That's almost like the satisfaction of pulling off when you're painting and you've pulled off that painter's line. Okay, yes, I'm still recording. Okay, phone. Thank you. Not that anybody watches my videos. YouTube apparently does not send your videos out. So I don't know I have to buy a domain, I wish I had somebody around me that was technical. Okay, there was another wad of clay there I had to get rid of. Now let's see if we can't get this wing separated and out of there, because the longer it sits, it wants to absorb that wax paper, which I didn't want to happen, and it did. Boom. Gone though. No problem. Alright. Now let's get our bird out of its little confinement here. And don't forget to pull off your stencil, by the way, because you want to use that again, I'm sure. If you're like me anyway, I don't want to make a fresh drawing every time I want to make something, or if I want that particular design so it matches everything else. And all I'm doing is just that little bit of residue, because I like to work with the clay barely touched. It likes to grab hold, okay? Nothing to worry about though. Very easy to fix. And all I'm doing is kind of reshaping it from my roughness there. Kind of ignoring this clay, which is bugging me because I don't want to lose any of it. And getting it in that cellophane as quickly as possible. I don't want to have it in the air anymore. That's it. No more clay in it. Put it to the side. Make sure that your stencils are in a good place, that they're not going to get wet. I pre-cut the wax paper so that I can just keep right on flowing. And make sure to make sure you don't leave any wax paper wanting to stick on the back, which I didn't have, but a little, so that wasn't too bad. Not unhappy with that. Then what you want to do is take a gander. I'm going to use one of these little tools here because, again, and I am not sure where the hair came from last night. I must have touched Bella and then did that, but okay. All is fixable. Just want to cover in your little divots there that you made, trying to get that out. Okay. Now, he's going to have an eye. My bird is going to have an eye right about here. So all I did is stick not all the way through, but a good impression of just the end of a bobbit, or needle pin. What is that called? Bobbit. I don't know what that's called, but a little end of it. Makes just the perfect size for the bird that I'm using. Of course, if yours is bigger or smaller, you would have to adjust that. Okay, so we got that done. Now I just want to come through here and smooth out our guy. And by doing that, you just dip your finger in a little bit of water. Gently go around. And you'll see and when you do it my method without touching it until this point, you are going to love Airdryclay. It takes away all the frustrations that I've heard from others suffering from and not knowing how to resolve it. And I'm happy to say that I resolved it my way, and I'm hoping that I help somebody else too, because I tell you, this is a very rewarding craft, and I'm using it with mixed media, so which simply means using other art methods to create a painting or project, whatever you want to call it. Now what I'm doing is just taking a little bit of water on the very, very top of the bird to try to smooth out any little dimples, I guess you might want to call it. Any kind of, sometime in the beginning I was constantly getting nail prints in there, and I've learned now a little bit better how to control that. And you want your bird, your front of your bird, to be smooth if that's the look you're going for. Now you could make this really interesting by putting lines in it with little special tools. See, that's giving me just a little bit of a struggle, so I'm bringing up a little fresh clay from the bottom just to kind of seal that little crack there. And I want my little bird to have a nice beak. It was looking kind of saggedy, so that's what I'll do. Just give our beak a little definition. And nice little curvy cheeks. And the last go about look. You don't want to play in the water too long. Just want to make sure you got it as nice as possible. And there's a fine line between too much and too little. And that's well for me. Okay, now we're on to the wing. This shouldn't be very hard at all. Just going to smooth out the cutout. I always start on the sides. No rhyme or reason, really, that I can think of offhand. Just the way I do it. You do it the way you like to do it. And I forget, you know, the other good thing about using the wax paper is it's so fluidly movable on your board. I'm wanting a Lazy Susan. I'm wishing I could find one. I was gonna look at the, like a Goodwill or something, and see if they don't carry something like that anymore. I certainly would get a lot of use for that. I just love it. Maybe that's a pottery wheel, I guess. Maybe that's what that's called, right? Okay, well, my wing is where I want it. We're in. We're good. So here's what we've accomplished. Oh, let's put our eye in. Now, oh, no, never mind. What I'm doing, I'm sorry. What I'm doing, can you see? Yeah, is simply going to put a line, because these are wings. My first line worked a lot better. This one had to give a little love to there. Okay. And if you see any bubbles or anything, just pop them and move gently with your fingers. Remembering, we're not a big fan of the touching of the clay, only to this point. Okay, now that's nice and smooth. We've got our angel wing indentations, and another hair. That's amazing. Okay, done. Let's let you see that. This is going to get laid right on top of here. Okay, we're going to let this dry a little bit prior to doing so. I'm simply moving that to a more drier placement. Oh, there's one other thing I wanted to do, and that was to give our bird legs. Almost forgot the legs. Ah, Dios mío. Ah, let me grab my wire clippers and get us a piece of wire. Now this wire is very bendable wire, okay? This I got from, where did I get this from? This was gotten from, I think I want it there. I'm thinking at the same time, which is hard for me. From Dollar Tree, sorry. From Dollar Tree. And what I did is I'm just winging it right now and picked a shape that I think may work, and I'm sticking it, let's see, let's do it. Well, I won't be able to see, but what I'm going to do is stick it in between those layers. So it's not on the back, it's not on the front, it's inside the bird for its legs, okay? So let's get to it. We'll see how good I am at it. Not so good. I try. It's so easy to accidentally go to the other side. So there, we've got one down. I think I want that leg a little bit longer. And in goes the next one. And we can always do more bending with our legs later. You know, I was kind of thinking about doing a cute plumage out of his back tail feather, and I'm wondering if I can do that with this, if I can get it out. This wire is a different color. It's a bronze color. And I had an idea to try to do something cute. Seen somewhere else, I don't know whether it was Pinterest or where, but they had made these cute little metal type of fluffage. Now, how in the world did they get that on there? Now, I hadn't thought that far. I wonder. I think that might just work just like that if I just gently push it in there. And not do something dumb like I just did. My finger over here. I bumped that. You can work. I just know you can. I don't know why that wire is wanting to be mean to me. It is not wanting to bend. This is bend wire. Well, okay. Before I end up ruining the tail of it, let's just go with it. In fact, what I might do to ensure that tail, because it's not looking too happy with me right now, is I'm just going to take what you call it's called a coil, and it's when you take another piece of clay and you roll it out to to a very thin kind of thing like that. And then I'm going to come right over here and I'm going to put that on there just like that. Okay, and I know you can see little bits of bumps and lumps and stuff, but that's what these cool little tools are about. And just come in here and pull your clay on top of the other clay, creating a seal. I don't think I need any slip. If I need slip, I can always do that later. All right. Yeah, that's gonna do her. And now you can kind of see what that side does. It gets in there in those little tiny areas that you might want rolled. Yeah, so that's good. And I want to bring it down just a little bit more. Oops, that may have been a little too much there. Oopsie. Good. All right. Now see, I think that's going to work out really cute and sturdy. There we go. Now I'm just going to come back and try to smooth that out a little bit. You gotta love how Airdryclay just smooths like that. Isn't that neat? It's just a delicate dance of water and clay. And then when we paint him, oh, he's gonna be so pretty. Okay, I'm not gonna mess with it anymore. Him got some leg, he got some pretty tail, little 3-dimension going. I wanted to do that here as well, matter of fact, for his beak. And I may come and add a little extra, we'll have to see. I also wanted to go around his little eyes. Isn't he cute? Oh! Just love you. I just meal. Mwah. Okay. Then this beautiful little wing is going to sit right there on top. Oh, I'm so excited to get that on there. I'm just going to lay it there just to let y'all see what it's going to be. Because it's pretty much done. All it's got to do now is dry. And that'll be nice and white. And on top of it, it gave me a little different view here. Let's see if I can get a little better looking tail. Got a little rough there where I was holding it and trying to put on an extra tail. Okay, there we go. Good, good, good. Okay. Okay. I keep saying okay, 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 but okay, there we go. Thank you for joining me. I hope you learned something, how to use a little bit of Airdryclay. This is probably going to go on top of a canvas, maybe a paint pour behind it. The sky's the limit, especially with clay. Isn't it adorable? I have to say. I hope that you can see it
Especially the little, no, that seemed to take it first, didn't it? Anyway, there it is. I hope you can see it. And this little tail here of brass, and I'll clean up the little bit of clay that got on it right there. That'll all just wash clean. Thank you for joining me. Subscribe if you're thinking about it. Go ahead, it's free. I give free lessons on Airdryclay, to acrylic paint pouring, to watercolor paintings, you name it. I pretty much can do a lot of things. I can't do it all. Never will ever claim that. I learn something every day, and I like it that way. I hope you have a great day and you learn something every day too. And may God keep you safe, and the universe and all the good wishes your way. Thank you for joining me. Till next time. Bye.